Hello, welcome to my channel. If I just recently uploaded a whole bunch of videos on health issues that I'm having to deal with, and I just want to say I didn't mean initially when they first uploaded. Most of them had that cup, that huge mug that says "Hello Beautiful" in front of my face, and that wasn't done deliberately. But then when I started editing and getting them ready to publish, I decided that I liked that, and so I'm kind of hiding behind that on my thumbnails. And until I learn how to make those nice little thumbnails and titles and inserts and stuff, I'm going to do things like that. But this one is about omega-3. Now, I'm going to need my glasses so I can read it to you. This is what I use. It's nature-made flaxseed oil. I do not like to use the krill or any of the fish oil omega-3s there's various reasons. And if you do if you do use that, make sure they're not coming out of the Pacific Ocean, please. For the last 7 years, there's been some very toxic things happening over there. And if you don't know, then, I hate to be the one to tell you. But this also has 6 and 9, omega 6 and 9 in it. And I'll probably make more sense for me to write this in the description than try to read all this out to you and make this even longer than it should be. But this has 14 milligrams of omega-3, 6 and 9. Omega-3s are half of that. So it's 700 milligrams of omega-3, and then a variance of the other two. They're not split equally. There's a lot of omega-6 and possibly 9, but definitely 6 in our diets that's not being balanced out by the omega-3s. Our brains need fat. Our diets need fat. The reason why bacon tastes so good is because it's got fat. Fat is a flavor carrier. When you take out fat, with this low-fat, no-fat diet that's become the craze, and where everyone got sicker and fatter instead of skinny and healthier, stop and think. It's not working. Quit doing it. I mentioned in another video, my cholesterol went down when I actually increased egg and meat consumption in my diet, because I was doing sugar busters, and there's so many there's only a few things you can do, and it's all about keeping your insulin levels down. So it's a very good diabetic diet. It's a very good diet for anyone that's pre-diabetic, diagnosed with insulin resistance. So again, coffee cup. I plan on buying some more cups. That was a gift. I didn't buy. I know this is the type of stuff I buy. My husband bought me that cup as a part of my Christmas present one year, and I think I like that. I'm gonna find some cool stuff and put that in front of my face and the thumbnails. But the whole fat thing, Sugar Busters, a very good book. I highly recommend that. And in it, they talked about that the average American produces enough insulin in one day that just a handful of generations ago, they didn't produce that in a whole year. So in one day, you're producing so much insulin, and your body can't tolerate it. It's not doing any good. Another video I hit on that it's if your insulin's up from fructose. This is what, okay, again, I'm not medically trained. I have no medical qualifications. I'm just telling you what I've noticed in myself. I was going every 3 months to get blood drawn, even though I was refusing taking any sort of cholesterol, any sort of statin drugs. I was refusing any drugs. But they were just monitoring me to see when they go, oh yeah, you're diabetic now, or oh yeah, you're definitely this now. Because I was refusing any of that stuff that I knew had side effects, and again, I'm falling into that small category of people whom the side effects affect. Actually, it's affecting a lot more of us. We just don't realize what's going on, and some of us think it's just because we're getting old. This is just part of getting old, because that's what we heard from our parents and grandparents as they got old. But I was going every 3 months to get my blood drawn, and they were checking my cholesterol levels and everything. And at that time, I still had high fructose corn syrup in my diet. So cholesterol was bad. All the bad cholesterols were high. Good cholesterol was not high. Went on sugar busters, and it all dropped. I was like, wait a minute, it should have gone up. I switched carbs and started having more animal protein, including bacon, including sausages, stuff that's not really, it's not healthy, okay? I may make jokes about that kind of stuff, but it's really technically not healthy. There's a lot of chemicals in there I don't like. And it's not good for us, any of us. There's no caveats. No one's going to be okay with any of those things. So my cholesterol dropped. My insulin resistance came from, this is the way I understand it. I could be totally wrong, but you do your own research and figure out how your body's working with all these things. When I have high fructose in my diet, my blood sugar goes up. That's what happens with everybody. Okay, now after this point, I could be wrong, but this is what I think was happening with me. My liver started producing cholesterol. The triglycerides come from your liver. It does not come directly from your diet. When you eat that bacon, most of that fat goes out the other end. That's what happens. Your liver is the one that pumps out triglycerides. Double check me on that. That's okay. If I'm wrong, come back and tell me where you found that information. So my triglycerides were really bad. But the reason it was pumping out triglycerides is because my insulin did nothing when my blood sugar was fructose. Okay? I'm not sure when you have your blood drawn, when they say your blood sugar is high, if they actually break that down into what kind of sugars it is. It doesn't say glucose level. It says sugar. So anyway, glucose causes the insulin rise. Insulin's not getting my blood sugar levels down. So my liver starts cranking out triglycerides. My liver's already taxed. I've got that enlarged fatty liver thing going on too. So it's working extra hard pumping out that triglycerides. And I'm not sure of all the things involved with what's going on for it to do that, but it wasn't good, okay? So now my blood sugar's up, triglycerides are up. Yeah, I was heading down a very dangerous path. So now triglycerides are usually normal. They're not always normal. I quit going every 3 months to get my blood drawn because what was that about? I mean, seriously. I go back and I look at some of the things I allowed because that was with my permission that I did those things. So I'm not advocating don't get your blood drawn. I do. I definitely try to make myself go in for my annual. There's certain other things I'll discuss in other videos about what I do and don't do and why. But this one's about, let me see if I can stay on this. Another reason I don't do fish oils is you can get that burping effect. Especially when I'm going to talk about taking mega dosages of this stuff. This is serious. So that's not a comfortable. Who likes burping? I don't like, unless just to relieve the pressure, yeah. But it's not, it doesn't taste good. I don't care what you ate. Cheesecake does not taste good in a burp. So when my back started hurting really bad, and my husband has some back issues. In fact, he was supposed to have surgeries. That's another video again. Sorry, there's so much information. It'll go. I could probably make a 24-hour video. But doing a lot of research into pain meds, and every pain meds, aspirin, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Aleve, Aleve, naproxen. That's what destroyed my mom's kidneys. So, and she was taking it per recommended dosage, but she was on it for a very long time, and she refused to change it until she absolutely had to. And anyway, she'd still be alive today if not for that decision. I know that it's not a hope or wishful thinking. I know that for a fact. She would be alive today. They all have consequences. They all do. And there's things I've learned from medical professionals that you can do when you're in severe pain and you're not, you can't go and get a prescription for Oxy or some other narcotic that's really going to pretty much put you out so you don't feel the pain. So he has some severe back issues, and it was starting to act up again. And a lot of it comes back to inflammation. Inflammation is the first sign your body's telling you something's wrong. And often it's reacting to food, okay? Now, then you also have inflammation from injury. So that's a different thing. And that's, I fell, sprained a wrist swells up. That's, not diet related, but diet makes it worse or better, depending on what you're doing. So doing some research, find out if you take high dosages, this recommends, I think, again, sorry, my glasses. One gel, one of these capsules are pretty big, and one capsule, let's see what, up to 3 times a day. So doing some research, and I found out that these are huge, wonderful anti-inflammatory pills as well. They so I had him take, it's like here, because he was already taking aspirin, and aspirin's a natural blood thinner. It will cause problems in your digestive tract, with your the mucus lining in your stomach, causing ulcers if you take a lot of it. It will cause you to, as a blood thinner, the little baby aspirins were suggested to take, so it helps with that. This is also a blood thinner, okay? So if you are on Coumadin, warfarin, or any of the other prescribed blood thinners, you cannot do this. You can't do what I'm about to explain, because this is also a blood thinner, and it could cause you problems, dangerous problems, life-threatening problems. So otherwise, it's safe for pretty much everybody. There may be another exception. I looked, but I couldn't find it. Just if you're on blood thinners, you cannot do this. 4 or 5 tablets of this 2 or 3 times a day helped his pain. And then when my back started acting up after he started doing that for the first time, and I'm over there complaining like, oh, I'm in pain, And he's like, well, why aren't you taking the omega-3? And I was like, oh, yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't click. What doesn't really click into place until something makes it, or someone says something. So I did that, and I did it for only 3 days, and that really helped. It was taking the inflammation down. I made sure that my diet was good. I avoided the things that caused the massive inflammation in me, and that's it. I do take 2 of these, or my daily part of my daily supplement routine that I do. I was taking the supplements first thing in the morning. I'd have a cup of tea or coffee, and I'd take a whole bunch. It was like a lot. My mom laughed at me because it was actually ended up more than all the, she was on a lot of prescriptions, and she was on a lot of supplements. So, taking that in the mornings, but now I'm seriously doing this intermittent fasting. So I don't have anything. I got another hour before I can actually have calories. I'm only doing things that are like 0 calories. So omega-3, very, very important. Now, if you research brain anatomy, what makes your brain, what is, not how it works, not how, but what is, if you take brain tissue, what is it? It's a high portion of it is fat, okay? Yeah, fathead. But if you don't get the right fats to keep that going, there's a lot of things with and depression too. I really believe depression can be cured from 3 simple things. Another video. But definitely fat plays a part. And we were told fat was bad. That study, always question any study. Someone says this study says such and such and such, ask who did the study, okay? Who paid for that study? What was actually involved? Some studies have as few as 4 people. One study that I go by only had 10 people. But it was very eye-opening because you would think you would need to pull more than 10 people out and x-ray, 10 people with no back pains. And yet when they were x-rayed, I think 40%, 4 out of those 10 people had serious back damage, slip disc and all this, and they had no pain. So when they take your x-ray and they go, oh, you got a slip disc, let's fix that, and the pain still continues, which happens to a lot of people with back surgery. I'm getting off topic again. So that's another, more information. So anyway, omega-3, good fat. Omega-6, not good fat, but still part of the process. It's in here naturally. And I'm using flaxseed oil. It's organic flaxseed oil. I have to trust, there's a point where I have to release that and go, I have to trust these people. If you are using fish oil or krill oil, make sure it's from the Atlantic Ocean, okay? Not that it's all that 100%. None of our environment, ocean, atmosphere, land, is toxin-free. You just have to go with the least, the safest one you can find. And that's what I'm encouraging. And this is why I'm sharing this, because this really, last couple of times my back starts acting up, I take this and it's only one day and it's taken care of. And I also do some, I make sure I'm not making it worse by doing things I shouldn't be doing. A lot of times it's when I lift and I do it incorrectly, or I twist while I'm lifting and then it's like boom. And it doesn't have to be something really heavy, but definitely something heavy is going to be more apt to cause the injury to re-inflame. So, but now it's like one day of it, and the second day I can go, okay, let's see if it hurts before I do a mega dose. I still have my two tablets that I take with my daily supplement regimen. So let me know if this has helped you in any way. One great conversation's already started on one of the other videos from yesterday, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this going and and I'm learning. She gave me some links that I need to sit down and go through and get some more information and see what connects with other stuff. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to do, and I hope you join in the discussion. Thanks for watching.